Imagine this. It's the summer of 1483. London's streets are buzzing. The air smells of roasted meat from market stalls. Horses clop along cobblestones. And everyone's talking about one thing: the coronation of young Edward V. Edward isn't just any kid. He's 12, which means he's old enough to wear a crown, but still young enough to think swords are cool toys. His little brother, Richard of Shrewsbury, is 9, cheeky, full of energy, and probably the type to sneak extra pies from the royal kitchen. Their father, King Edward IV, has just died suddenly. And when I say suddenly, I mean no warning at all. One day he's ruling the kingdom, the next day, well, he's not. This leaves the throne to young Edward, with his uncle Richard, Duke of Gloucester, stepping in as Lord Protector, basically the royal babysitter, but with more armor. On paper, it's all fine. Richard's job is to protect the princes until Edward's coronation. But here's the thing. Medieval politics isn't exactly a trust-fall exercise. You've got power-hungry nobles, backroom deals, and people smiling at you while secretly planning to stab you in the back. Metaphorically, mostly. And Richard, let's just say history hasn't been kind to his reputation. Even Shakespeare painted him as a hunchbacked villain with a permanent scowl. Whether that's fair or not, we'll get to later. For now, the stage is set. 2 young princes, a powerful uncle, and a kingdom buzzing with rumors. Everyone's waiting for the big coronation. But what they don't know is that this happy royal picture is about to turn very, very dark. At first, it all sounded normal. Edward V and his little brother were brought to London for the big coronation. And guess where they were sent to stay? The Tower of London. Now, before you gasp, in 1483, the Tower wasn't just a scary dungeon. It was also a royal palace. Kings and queens actually lived there before big events. So sending the princes there made sense. It's like booking the best hotel in town that just happens to have its own torture chamber in the basement. The boys arrived with a royal escort, smiling, waving, probably wondering what kind of feast they'd get that night. But something started to feel off. The coronation date got postponed, then postponed again, and again. You know how your friend keeps saying, "We'll meet next week," but never does? Yeah, like that, but with a crown involved. Soon, visitors weren't allowed to see the princes. The guards at the gates got stricter. Whispers spread through London streets. Why are the boys still in the tower? Meanwhile, Uncle Richard was making some bold moves. Loyal nobles to the late king, arrested, his enemies, executed, fast. Most famously, Lord Hastings, one of the king's closest allies, was suddenly accused of treason and beheaded. No trial, no warning. One moment he's sipping wine, the next, well, he's not. The message was clear. Richard was in charge now, and the princes, they weren't going anywhere. From the outside, London still went about its business. Merchants selling bread, bells ringing in churches. But inside the tower, the royal hotel stay was quietly turning into something much darker. And soon, the boys would disappear from sight altogether. At first, people still saw the princes now and then. A guard might spot them playing in the courtyard. Someone from the city might catch a glimpse of them at a tower window. It wasn't much, but it was enough to reassure everyone that the boys were safe. Then, the sightings stopped. No one knows exactly when. One week, the boys are there. The next week, they're not. No waving from the windows, No laughing in the gardens, just silence. Rumours spread faster than a tavern fight. Some said the boys had fallen ill. Others whispered they'd been sent somewhere safe in secret. But the darker whispers, the ones people said only after looking over their shoulder, claimed the princes were dead. And here's where it gets even more suspicious. Right around this time, Uncle Richard suddenly had himself crowned King Richard III. No kids at the coronation, no official explanation, just a brand new king and 2 missing heirs. Londoners weren't buying it. They loved Edward Fivins. Well, as much as you can love a 12-year-old you've never actually spoken to. The people started murmuring that maybe Richard wasn't protecting the princes. Maybe he'd done something far worse. But here's the frustrating part. We have no records, no eyewitness accounts that prove anything. It's like the tower swallowed the boys whole and locked the truth away forever. By the end of that summer, the princes had vanished completely from public life, and the Tower of London, it went back to its usual business, guarding prisoners, holding treasures, and hiding secrets. The mystery had begun. Once the princes vanished, the rumor mill went into overdrive. Everyone had a theory, and none of them were friendly bedtime stories. Theory 1. Uncle Richard did it. Simple, brutal, and convenient. As long as the boys were alive, they had a stronger claim to the throne than he did. By removing them, Richard secured his crown. This version of the story became so famous that even Shakespeare picked it up, turning Richard III into the ultimate villain, complete with a hunchback and a permanent "I'm up to something" face. Theory 2. The Duke of Buckingham. Once Richard's ally, Buckingham might have decided to play his own game of who wants to be king. Maybe he acted on his own. Maybe Richard told him to do it. Or maybe Buckingham just wanted to impress the boss. Either way, history's pointing fingers at him too. Theory 3. Henry VII. Yes, the guy who defeated Richard later on. Some say the princes might have still been alive when Henry took the throne, and he had just as much reason to get rid of them, since they could challenge his rule. If true, that's one plot twist the history books skipped. The real headache? There's no proof for any of it. No signed confession, no "oops, I did it" diary entry. Just whispers, court gossip, and chroniclers writing years after the fact. All we know is that 2 young princes disappeared, and everyone powerful enough to be a suspect also had a perfect reason to want them gone. And the tower? It stayed silent. Stone walls may not talk, but they can keep secrets for centuries. Fast forward almost 200 years to 1674. Workers are doing renovations inside the Tower of London. They're pulling down an old staircase when, surprise, they find something buried underneath. 2 small skeletons. The bones are wrapped in scraps of what looks like cloth from the late 1400s, once rich with gold thread. Right size, right time period. And instantly, everyone's thinking the same thing. The princes. King Charles II orders the remains to be placed in Westminster Abbey in an urn marked as the children of Edward IV. Case closed, right? Not quite. See, no one actually confirmed it. Back in the 1600s, there was no DNA testing, no forensic science. And to this day, the bones have never been fully examined with modern technology. Why? Well, some say it's out of respect. Others think it's because nobody wants to risk finding out the truth. Over the years, the mystery has only grown. Historians argue Books are written, documentaries made. Some are convinced Richard III is guilty. Others think he's been unfairly framed. And some believe the princes might not have died in the tower at all. Maybe they escaped, lived under false names, and simply vanished into history. But here's the thing. After more than 5 centuries, we're still left with the same haunting image. 2 boys locked away in a fortress meant to protect them, disappearing without a trace. The Tower of London still stands, its walls holding stories no one can hear. And somewhere in those cold stones lies the answer, until we know for sure. The mystery of the princes in the tower will never rest.